right, so we had 2 false starts. It is in keeping with this business of horse racing. You've joined us at the right time. Race 5 is ready. Let's go to the commentator.
This is the early one to show. So Storm Force is the leader. Social Circle Breeze is on by and goes on now by a length and a half. In between horses, that one is Donna's True Bling, who's running well. Then on the inside is Ollivander. Between horses, then is Stormcatcher, Impeachment, Edelweiss, and your back marker is Ebony Rose. That's the way they race as they go up the hill. And it looks like Bali High now who just picked it up. So it's Bali High in front from Social Circle. Running very well is Quality Star. Then on the inside is Stormcatcher. Then the next one through is Storm Force. Coming with a run on the in-between horses is Ollivander. Then Donna's True Bling is dropping away. That's the way they race as they come with just about a furlong and a half to go. And it's Bali High in front. On the outside here comes Stormcatcher as they turn for home. And then there's a wall of them as they come inside the final furlong. And it is on the inside Social Circle. Social Circle is looking very good. Here comes on the outside right on time. It is Social Circle and right on time. Social Circle right on time. They go by together very, very close. Right on time. Then it was Edelweiss, Social Circle. Donna's True Bling ran very, very well. Then on the outside of them was Impeachment. And the last one to go by was Ebony Rose in 109 flat. In a moment, the unofficial placings for you.
Yep, number 7 right on time. We got the broadcast going right on time because number 7, the 7-year-old chestnut gelding by Janak out of Domineering by Captain Charlie, right on time. A hat-trick on the afternoon for the jockey, to Sean Hazelwood. He's the champion here at the Garrison Savannah for Trainer Dean. And right on time, just the stronger at the finish, Salt. And that was a good way to start the broadcast this afternoon.
Actually, the 4th win of
number 4
of 5 races for the day for that jockey
go.
Hazelwood, our reigning champion jockey right here at the Garrison Savannah. Welcome back to Barbados, George.
Yeah, it's been a while. I enjoyed my time on March 4. We combined to cover the Sandiland Barbados Gold Cup, and we are here for the MidSummer Classic coverage once again. And it is a good thing that we are here because the racing is so good. The Caribbean deserves to see what the best of Barbados racing looks like. All right, so we had a bit of a false start.
Yeah.
In literal terms, we had a false start at the top, but we are here now, and this is when the coverage really gets going. So my name is George Davis, properly introducing myself now. Patrick Salt Bellamy is the man beside me. He is my comments man, the guy with the analysis. And you spoke of our meeting we spoke of our meeting for the Sandiland Barbados Gold Cup and how necessary it was to be back here for big-time racing at the Garrison Savannah. This, the second jewel in the Triple Crown. It's no ordinary horse racing day. It's no ordinary occasion to be back with the big cameras.
I'm glad to have you back. I missed you for the Guineas, but you're here for the second crown, the MidSummer Creole Classic. It's steeped in history, this race is. And we're looking forward for more history being written this evening right here at the Garrison Savannah.
Absolutely so. All right, so we had a bag-up finish in race 5. We could just make out that number 7 right on time got there first. Let's take the replay to clear up the first 4 past the post. All right, so in the drive to the wire, on the inside, the horse with the blaze face, the yellow cap, that's right on time. Hazelwood has the stick in his right hand, looks across the line Saul, to see who is challenging him. He sees the wall of horses, and he comes right through. Number 7 actually got there. Number 12 was leading up to the finish. I heard you riding that one, Social Circle.
That would have been my pick.
That would have been your pick.
Circle.
That would have been your pick. My pick was Quality Star, number 2, but that one was left behind in the last furlong. But 4 wins on the afternoon for the jockey, to Sean Hazelwood. Tell my Caribbean viewers how good this young man is.
He is a promising young man. He's looking very good. He's been the reigning champion jockey right now. And today itself, 4 wins out of 5 races. You can't beat that.
Yeah, he started with the first 2 wins. Yeah, first 2 wins soaring up. A race 1 and 2 went to Hazelwood, and he has got the job done here on number 7 right on time. We're going to have the official placings for you in short order, and we'll tell you what the first 4 are in the money.
The unofficial results, though, are 7 from 13 Idle West. Number 3, Donna's True Bling was the 3rd horse, and then number 4, 12. Social Circle.
All right, very good. So Social Circle hanging in there for a share of the money, number 12. So the fans here cheering as the winner comes by in the traditional parade. Number 7, right on time. As we told you, he is a chestnut gelding. He's 7 years old now, by Janak Domineering, Captain Charlie, bred by Stephen Jardine. Groom is Curland Felician and is owned by Stephen Jardine. So the same man who bred it is actually the owner of Right on Time. And Tishon Hazelwood getting the job done here. Hazelwood tried with this horse already on April 15. They didn't get there. They were beaten third, a length and a half away in the finish. But they corrected all of their mistakes early. Right, well, correct all of their mistakes moments ago.
So, and carrying along the top weight at that.
Yeah, 130 pounds for Right on Time. And he played his hand very, very late, Hazelwood did. And in playing his hand late, he got there right on time, pun intended, all around. All right, let's look at race 6. It's the next race on the card. Race 6 is named for Secret Habitat. Secret Habitat, of course, the 1993 winner of the MidSummer Creole Classic Assault. And I love the fact that we're talking about the Secret Habitat, because Secret Habitat, the 1993 winner, was a Jamaican-bred horse owned by Mr. C.O. Williams, bred by Caymanas Estates Limited by Haber, out of Kelpie by Secret Man, Secret Habitat. That's where the secret came from in the naming of the horse. Secret Habitat, one of 3 foreign-bred winners of this MidSummer Creole Classic. The others being the Martinique-bred Foyal in 1984, and then we had another Jamaican-bred No Bajan in 1994. Let's look at the start list here, Salt. Number 1, Rapunzel's Dream. Hazelwood rides for trainer John. Then number 3, you can scratch number 2. The Spoiled Child, number 3, is St. Lucia. Anderson Tom Trotman rides that one, not Jay Farrell, for trainer Lavelle. Number 4 is The Code. Ricky Walcott rides for John Mark Cozier. Then number 5, you can scratch number 5, Kariba Star. Well, Kariba Star is there, yes. Actually, Kariba Star is there. Knights rides for trainer Andrew Nunes, the Busher they call him. Number 6 is People's Champ. Salt will tell you more about the pedigree of this horse later on. Young Daniel rides for trainer Nunes. Number 7 is Nilos. Rashid Hughes in the saddle for trainer John. 8 is Undisputed. Beckles for Nunes. Number 9, Solar Kitten. Delano Lopez for trainer John. Number 10 is Cabalito. Edwards rides for trainer Paravicino. Scratch number 11, Afternoon Delight. And scratch number 12, War Eagle. So these are the horses declared for this race. The Secret Habitat handicap over 1,570 meters, 7.8 furlongs on the turf course. Let's start, before we get into the likely runners and riders in this event, let's talk about number 6, People's Champ. What's so special about him?
It's a quality horse. Won a lot of big races here at the Garrison Savannah. Are we looking forward to seeing what he can do? Maybe you can let me know exactly which was the big race.
Classic winner.
Yeah, the classic winner, yeah.
People's Champ knows what it is to win a classic race.
Yes.
And so being in here with a rating of 76.
And having won over $300,000.
And that's the point.
Earnings,
and that's the point. That's why I started with him, because he's the obvious one to start with based on the form lines and the pedigree in this contest. Well,
he's the quality in the field.
Yeah. But not necessarily the form horse in the field.
No.
Let's take it from 1 and look at the horses as they are listed. Number 1, Rapunzel's Dream. Hazelwood rides for John. Hazelwood looking for the 5-timer on what is already a fantastic day for the young man. Rapunzel's Dream coming in here, a 5th place finish last time out. Was a winner 2 races prior to today. Does she have a chance in this event based on the form?
Every horse has a chance, especially with a track like this. We didn't mention that to the viewers as yet today, but the track is a bit heavy today. So we got to look at that and take that into consideration.
Officially rated as good to firm.
Officially
the underfoot.
But she's kind of the form jockey of the day, and we can't take that away from her. But I'm not sure if I have her in the category with the other horses that we're going to mention a little later on.
All right, number 3, St. Lucia. As we told you, Anderson Tom Trotman takes the ride. The morning line odds here 12-1. Some confidence, but not selling down the board. 7-year-old bay mare, no exercise workouts to recommend for St. Lucia. Perhaps we should give that one a swerve. Number 4 is The Code. Ricky Walcott rides for Cozier. 2nd place finisher the last time, but beaten 5 lengths over the journey of 5.5 furlongs, which is today's trip. Well, 1,570 meters today, but over 5.5 furlongs the last time. The Code, a 4-year-old colt, was beaten into 2nd, 5 lengths away. 129 pounds, then gets an ease in the handicaps. Comes here carrying 11 pounds less for The Code. The question is, does he have a chance?
Yes, he does have a chance.
Does he have a chance?
He does have a chance. Ridden by Ricky Walcott. I'm always going to give Ricky a chance on this course.
A winner on Boxing Day last year, the code, over the trip of 1,100 meters. So it seems to have a liking for 1,100 meters. His last 4 runs have been over 1,100 meters. The code seems best suited to that distance. But in this field, in the form that he is in, he may be good enough to get the job done. Number 5 is Kariba Star. Knights rides for Nunez. This one has not finished in the frame in the last 3 outings. 8th, 5th, and the 6th. The last 3 times we saw Kariba Star. Anything in the form line that suggests that it could wake up today, Salt?
Highly rated among this competition, but carrying a lot of weight, 127 pounds. So I think that's going to play in a disadvantage. -5 for the apprentice, so it should be carrying along at 122. Slight chance, but I wouldn't put her past 4th.
Yeah, and of course the Kariba is the tropical suit made famous by prime ministers like Maurice Bishop and Michael Manley in the 70s and 80s. Kariba Star maybe just lurking in the shadows and will leap and do some damage in this race today. Number 6 is People's Champ, a 5-year-old. Happy Memories by Lady Constance by Bandsman is People's Champ. And he is the 2021 winner of the MidSummer Creole Classic. He won this race in 2020, well, the big race in 2021. He has not lived up to the expectation of that success in the MidSummer Creole Classic, though, so it must be said. And he comes here in good form, 3rd-placed finisher on the last occasion, a winner prior to that, a rating of 76. He's not the highest-rated horse in the race. I think he's very well treated at the handicaps, only 120 pounds for jockey Daniel, riding for trainer Nunez. People's Champ, does he have the pedigree and the fitness to make it look easy in this race?
The pedigree, definitely. The fitness is always questionable. He was beaten last time out by War Eagle, who is not turning up today, so definitely has a chance. And I really like the horse, People's Champ. It's one of those names that continues to resonate with me. When I hear horses being called, People's Champ always, that's a horse to bet on, yeah.
Yeah, fact is that, though, that his win 2 races ago came at 2,000 meters, at 10 furlongs. Last time out at 1,800 meters, finished 3rd. Going shorter this afternoon, his form line suggests that the further he goes is the better he is seen in terms of his effectiveness. The trip today may be a trifle short for People's Champ, but he is a classic winner, and that pedigree cannot be discounted. Number 7, Nilos, is the horse with 126 pounds. Rashid Hughes will ride for trainer John. Hasn't won since the 3rd of September last year. That was 7 races ago. Nilos has been competitive, though, in subsequent outings, especially at this trip. So seems to enjoy this trip, Nilos. They're taking a crack at again. Does Nilos have an outstanding chance to beat everybody in this field?
Outstanding chance is a big word. He does have a chance, though. I like Nilos and I like People's Champ, so those are my 2. If I was to do a forecast this evening, those 2 would be my forecast. So I will go with Rashid Hughes or Nilos.
All right, that's his selection. He's putting his deck out early.
Early o'clock. Yeah.
Number 8 is Undisputed, very well treated at the handicaps. Only 116 pounds for Beckles riding for Andrew Nunes. The morning line betting is at 92. We're going to give you the real-time odds in short order. But this horse has a rating of 72. There are several horses in this lineup rated way higher than Undisputed. He's a 6-year-old now, Bay Gelding, beaten 14 lengths in 4th by Zaid and company at 1,570 meters on the last occasion, and maybe the form suggests that easier chances will come for Undisputed. Today may not be his day.
It's going to be, that's the honor of running on the day of the MidSummer Classic.
There
It'll be
you go.
enough for him, yeah.
Number 9 is Solar Kitten, as we take a look at number 5 in our shot as the horses leave the saddling area to enter the track. That was Kariba Star.
That's Kariba Star, yeah.
Yeah, and then number 8 just passing, that's Undisputed. Number 9, Solar Kitten. Delano Lopez rides for a trainer John. This one, a 7-year-old bay mare. A 7-year-old bay mare who only has 5 starts in her lifetime. That just tells you the amount of problems that Solar Kitten has had. Clearly still a maiden, a 1 2nd-place finish and 1 3rd-place finish in her form line. I think she's best left alone for now.
Taking along a lot of weight.
Yeah, a lot of weight as well. All right, before we finish, well, let's just mention that number 10, Cabalito, the last horse in the race. Number 10, Cabalito. Edwards rides for Paravicino. This one, a 5-year-old chestnut horse, 23 lifetime starts, 5 wins already under his belt. Will give you the betting odds on the horses in race 6 after these. Welcome back to SportsMax's coverage of the MidSummer Creole Classic here from the beautiful Garrison Savannah in Barbados. And joining me right now is an outstanding gentleman. His name is Corey Garrett. He says, no more Pat Garrett Billy the Kid jokes. He's heard that enough to last a lifetime. He's here representing Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., BTMI. He's one of the head honchos, the movers and shakers within that organization. And Corey, it's so good to be here for horse racing. So good that BTMI sees sport as a vehicle for marketing this glorious island to those inside and out.
You are correct, and once again, welcome to you and the entire SportsMax family. Welcome back to Barbados, as we would usually say. But you are correct, the BTMI does understand the value of our sports tourism product. Horse racing being just one of those sports that we choose to celebrate or we choose to further expose. And by having the SportsMax team here, by continually giving an opportunity to broadcast, to share the content, I mean, we are in a content-driven world nowadays. So you understand at the end of the day how we are really trying to merge and really see the opportunities that exist. So for us, it's a great opportunity to have you guys back here, have the MidSummer Creole Classic once again covered, similar to the Sandy Lane Gold Cup earlier this year. But it once again just gives an opportunity to show people how diverse and how unique Barbados is. I mean, we were just looking at the side shot there of how beautiful. I mean, the sun, it looks almost purple in the sky. And here we are, midsummer. And I mean, that scene and that shot is so iconic and so amazing. Then you're here at a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then you're also here running under the lights. Things that make Destination Barbados truly unique here in the Caribbean. And dare I say, even in the entire globe. So by continually, putting the effort behind our sports tourism, horse racing, cricket, golfing, sailing.
Run Barbados.
Run Barbados, which is, of course, coming up. Of course, thank you very much, George. My baby, of course, looking forward to the Run Barbados weekend, December 8th and 9th this year, December 2023. But definitely Run Barbados, horse racing, like I said, golfing, sailing, motorsport. Of course, we have Zane Maloney currently campaigning on the F2 Motorsport Island. Barbados is now affectionately known as. So definitely we understand the value in those different types of sporting elements or those sporting arenas and bringing people here to watch those sports. People come to watch sports, they come to participate. But then what Barbados is so unique is that you come to run, and then there's the fun, there's the sun. You come to watch horse racing, there's the restaurants, there's the hotels, there's so many other things to do apart from what you actually came to do. So by marrying these products, marrying these sports tourism, sometimes with entertainment, sometimes with product-based activities. When I say product-based, I mean actual activities like adventures or excursions, etc. It just shows people how different the Barbados product is, how 360 it is, so to speak. So it gives persons an opportunity to come here for different reasons.
When in my introductory statement to you, when I said marketing it internally and externally, people may have said, well, what does George mean by marketing it internally? It doesn't make sense to market it internally. No, you would know that there is every need to market internally. By internally, we mean within the Caribbean space, because there are many Caribbean islands vying for the tourist dollar. By aligning itself with these activities, BTMI is making a special case to those who haven't thought about it, about doing it this way, to say, hey, sport can be that vehicle that you hitch your tourism wagon on. You get the locals excited, you get people in the region excited about even coming to Barbados, and you get the world excited. And it's a 360 package, 360 marketing effort, as you say.
So two things about that you said that were unique. As our Prime Minister also always says, the first tourist is a agent. So each and every one of these persons around here, we at the BTMI understand their value, understand they're also marketing the product for us because they're advocates of Destination Barbados. But also, as you said, we've understood what we call these niches. Sports is a niche, leisure is a niche, romance is a niche, MICE is a niche, business is a niche, investment is a niche. And some of them actually work quite well together. Tourism itself is a product. So what we've been doing is taking this overall thing of taking the niches and marrying them. So you have what we call now sport entertainment. You look at the CPL, for example, is that perfect blend of sport and entertainment in one entire package. So we understand, as you said, of marrying sporting tourism with the particular product of tourism and creating it as an opportunity not only for exposure of the destination, but also for persons to come here, enjoy. You don't have to be a horse racing fan, but as you look around the stands today, you see there a mixture of locals and visitors. Some people are just here for the entire experience, so to speak. It is a MidSummer Classic, so it is a bit hot outside.
Yes, indeed.
So it just shows that the diversity of the destination overall, and that's what we at the Barbados Tourism Marketing are really focusing on.
Yeah, for the summer, Corey, you've spoken about the year of activities culminating, of course, in Run Barbados in December. But for the rest of the summer, the big ticket items that the BTMI has its hands on.
Because that's a simple question. It's crop over.
Aye.
So you could imagine we are in the middle of crop over. So yes, for those of you who haven't booked your tickets as yet, there are lots of flights coming on the stream. I can't let the cat out the bag as yet, but definitely lots of ways to get to destination Barbados. So we're gearing up for crop over. Actually today, as we speak right now, maybe an hour or so ago, we would have had the official launch of crop over, which is the delivery of the ceremony delivery of the last canes. As you know, crop over, the name is the signaling of the last crop,
the crop
so
is
to
over.
speak. So crop over is officially started as
Yes.
of today, so to speak. So crop over is going on. Then we have CPL coming on towards the end of August. Then we of course have the Food and Rum Festival. That's going to be huge and magnificent this year, October 19th to 22nd. Then we have the Run Barbados. But in between there, you know, we have the shows that are coming up. We have the Barbados Summer Fest. Rick Ross is going to be here on the island. So it just shows, you know, from entertainment to sporting activities to different types of activities. There's a yoga festival coming up here in Barbados, a wellness festival. So there's so many different things that are going on in the destination. That's why we say Barbados is always on.
Yeah.
There's always something to come to Barbados to do. So whether you come for the sun, sea, and sand, trust me, we have a restaurant for you to like. Whether you come for a restaurant, we have a sporting activity that you can go and watch, participate in, no matter what level, novice, professional, whatever, that you can twin and marry. And that is what we continue to understand about the destination, especially coming out of COVID. Yes, we rely on tourism, but how else can we marry tourism with other things? We talk about agro-tourism.
Yes.
We talk about products such as the Peg Farm here in Barbados, which preaches sustainability and ecotourism. But you go there and you get what you call a farm-to-table experience. You know, you see the food being grown, etc. But then, of course, you'll be able to consume it at the same point in time. I mean, we like to say that in Oystins, we've been doing seat to table for so many years. So it's just showing how we can take these natural things that we have at our disposal and marry them into new age products, so to speak.
Let me put this last one to you, Corey, because I've been on the eastern end of the island, and I never knew that that side of Barbados existed, and I'm a Caribbean man. So for those who think that, oh, Barbados, pretty place for me to go and lay down in the sun and enjoy the beach, I'm telling them that it's so much more than that. Do some eastern end of Barbados evangelism for me in the time you have left in this interview.
Well, I mean, you are so correct. We took the Run Barbados there last year for the first time ever. We host an international QS 5000 surfing series down there. So the eastern coast of Barbados, which faces the Atlantic Ocean, is what we call our rugged side. You see all the rock formations and landforms. But there's something different than the tranquil blue water beaches, white sand beaches that you see on our southern and western side. And it creates this unique ecotourism spot, as I would say, that lets you connect back into nature. Even though you're here on this Caribbean island, even though you're in the hustle and bustle of Bridgetown, even though you can take the luxurious West Coast in, there's this rustic setting in Barbados. As you said, the East Coast or the Ermy-Bourne Highway, a recently repaved new road that we have. So we're ready for Run Barbados, a brand new road to run on. But persons should really take in the sights and sounds and the different activities of Destination Barbados. It isn't just all gleam and stuff that you see at times. There is a natural part of this destination, a domestic product that we really like to put out there so persons also know about it. So different angles of Destination Barbados, and as you said, that eastern seacoast of Barbados, the Bathsheba area, the world-renowned Soup Bowl, where it is, of course, Kelly Slater, the international surfer, the world #1. It's one of his favorite spots in the entire world, right here in the entire Caribbean. So persons on the outside recognize the value of it. We in Barbados recognize the value of it. So we're inviting our Caribbean brothers and sisters and all those watching to come and see the different dimensions of Destination Barbados.
Absolutely smashing. Corey Garrett there, you smashed it out the park, man. He said that, look, the big event of the summer, oh, that's an easy one, George. Crop over, officially launched today, and it's not going to be a normal thing. Corey, thank you as usual.
George, thanks as always to you and the SportsMax family.
Big respect. We take another break. When we come back, we pick up with the horse racing here as SportsMax covers the MidSummer Creole Classic from the Garrison Savannah in Barbados.
I'm from a place, we upset every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. We'll search a million ways, travel a million miles to find a vibe like this and have a time like this. You may have a million problems, need some place to ease your mind. Welcome to my place, oh yeah. With arms wide open. This place here is the sweetest place. My country, you can eat arms wide open. Promise you'll never be the same. Show you how we just celebrate. Jump on around, that's how we does. Get on around, that's how we does.
Barbados is a beautiful island in the Caribbean that represents many things for many people. It is the perfect holiday getaway, a foodie paradise, the birthplace of rum, and the home of Rihanna. Welcome to Barbados.
Back with us as we pick up our preview of Race 6. It's named for Secret Habitat, the 1993 winner of the MidSummer Creole Classic. And we can tell our viewers, or tell you viewers, that Rapunzel's Dream number 1 is at 2-1. That's the favorite in the betting. Number 4, The Code, is at 3-1. Number 5, Kariba Star, 2-1. The betting there. Number 7, Milos at 6-1. 8, Undisputed, 4-1 in the last flash. And in the most recent flash, number 10, Cabalito, was at 4-1. Just highlighting the fancied runners for you. Has the betting gone in the way you thought the public would have gambled this race, Salt?
Well, no, it didn't go the way that I thought, but they know better than I do. So we will have to look and see what it is about Rapunzel's Dream. Maybe it's the jockey being ridden by Hazelwood, who has 4 of the 5 victories so far for the evening. Maybe that's influencing the choosing of the Rapunzel's Dream as favorite for this race.
Yeah, I find it hard, though, to see what's happening with People's Champ. And this is why you have to have an insider's perspective about horse racing. Here's a horse, a classic winner, a horse who ran up a sequence of victories in 2021. But guess what? It only ran 3 times in 2022. And I think that's the answer to my question about what has gone wrong with People's Champ. For a classic winner to only run 3 times in his 4-year-old campaign, he ran on March 5, 2022, was 7th by 7 1/4 lengths. Then he came back on November 26, 2022, beaten into 4th, 3 lengths away. Then on his last appearance in 2022, 3rd and last, on Boxing Day, he was beaten into 5th, 9 lengths away from the winner. Now, on March 4 this year, he made his debut. And he was a winner by a length and a quarter at 2,000 meters. Then in his second race this year on April 15, over 1,800 meters, he found War Eagle and Tough Rags too strong. So People's Champ, it's an issue of fitness, Saul, because I'm telling you, on pedigree and back class, this horse has no business running amongst these.
Yeah, and in Boxing Day last year, he would have run against Cabalito. Cabalito was the horse that would have won that race. And I don't think Cabalito is heavily favored in this race either, running as number 10 in this race. So it's interesting, and I'm really curious about Rapunzel's Dream, but I think the punters may have the inside track on me, so to speak, on this race at least.
Hazelwood, the jockey who's chasing a 5-timer, the champion jockey who's chasing a 5-timer this afternoon, already has 4 wins on the tins. He racked up, he ran 1 back-to-back races with Rapunzel's Dream in May last year. Well, May 28, he was a winner over 1,570 meters. Then June 25 last year, a winner also at 1,570 meters, which is today's trip. This horse loves 1,570 meters. Hazelwood, with those 2 back-to-back wins on Rapunzel's Dream, has not been aboard the 6-year-old mare in the last 4 races. The train and the connections have gone back for Hazelwood. The public are reading into that. That's why they made Rapunzel's Dream the favorite in this event, number 1. Out of the 1 hole at 1,570 meters, I mean, everything starts with a sharp break.
Yes, and the 7.8 furlong trip starts from the offshoot of the Garrison Savannah. They start straight onto the stretch. The Garrison Savannah, you will hear the commentator often say, and there are no more turns. And that's because the entire track is a curve.
Yeah.
However, with the 7.8 trip, you start on the stretch. So the one shot is going to actually be an advantage to Rapunzel's Dream today.
Yeah.
And I expect him to get a great break, and probably the jockey will probably be looking to set it the early fractions.
Yeah, you spoke about the track conditions earlier. You said it was heavy, which is true because I've heard horsemen say that since I've been here. Officially, it's rated as good to firm. And yeah, it seems as if the track, well, they're ready for us. Let's go to the commentator.
Blue Jacket is also early this afternoon, Undisputed. That's the one with the white moustache, races in the middle of the course into second position. The circuit to go, these 3 are followed by on the outside. Behind that one is Rapunzel's Dream. On the outside, Santa Lucia. Behind that one is People's Champ, and Caballito is your back marker. The opening quarter listed as a pedestrian, 26 flat, as a head down the back stretch. It is the code, just the leader from Undisputed and then Kariba Star. Towards the inside is Rapunzel's Dream, and on the outside, Solar Kitten going up. Then comes Santa Lucia, Nilos being pushed along. People's Champ still has only one beaten at this point, and this is Caballito. After a half in 50-1, they are at the top of the hill and begin their run towards the drill hall. And the leader on the inside is the code, trying to keep the cutters clean. On the outside, Pierre comes to press the issue. It looks like People's Champ is Undisputed who comes through and picks it up. It is Undisputed now who comes to press the question of the code. These two will turn to the judge side by side. Kariba Star hanging around. White on the outside. Here's Caballito. But it's Undisputed inside the final furlong. In front by 2 on the outside. Here's Caballito. It's Undisputed and Caballito. Caballito picking him up and putting it down. It's Caballito who's going to win it for Lester Bling. Mike Cyrus wins it now by about a length and a half from on the inside. Undisputed. Kariba Star was next. And rounding out the top 4 was Solar Kitten. The last one home was Santa Lucia. And the winner came home in 1:38-2. And I'm going to recap for you.
10-8-5-9, 10-8-5-9 in race 6. Number 10, Caballito, a 5-year-old chestnut horse by Aristodemos. Seattle Sunshine by Hook and Ladder, bred by Joan Paravicino, groomed by Virgil Lovell. Owned by Mr. Roger Paravicino, JP, and that man is the trainer of this one. So the trainer is the owner, and the the breeder is related to the trainer and the owner. So there we go. It's a family affair with Caballito, number 10, the winner of race number 6, and in good fashion at that, coming on the outside. And so it's almost as if Caballito joined the race at the furlong pole, because they went so slow in the first quarter, the half mile, 50 and change, they were crawling, and it was an electrifying burst from Caballito at the top of the lane that swept him into the lead.
The race really set up for Caballito, and a return to form for Caballito as well. We would have seen that these two, Caballito and Undisputed, battled it out on a Boxing Day 2022, finishing first and second then, and they return over 1570 today in the MidSummer Classic Day to run 1-2 once again. So congratulations to the connections of both of them. Young Jarrell Beckles, he carrying Undisputed, and a Caballito ridden by Lester Edwards.
Yep.
Bling Mice.
Yep. Lester Edwards. So at the back, as we see our slow motion replay here, you can see the horse in the blue blinkers, Caballito, with the purple noseband at the back in the orange cap.
Yeah.
Just taking it easy. They went so slow though. There was no pace in the race. The first quarter, 26 and change. They came the half mile in 50 and change. So it was a classic crawl and a sprint, and at the top of the lane, the horse with the wings was Caballito. You can see him there, the big chestnut with the lathering up on his chest. Well, you can call it the chest region there at the withers, and he's still at the back bowling along, but they were going no pace. So it was a classic crawl and sprint. It was who had that change of gear, and he was the one with the most devastating change of gear of all of these horses in this race.
10-8-5-9 are the unofficial results. Caballito from Undisputed from Kariba Star. I really like the name after you mentioned the outfits of former Prime Ministers of the Caribbean, and then 9 Solar Kitten, which was one we weren't very fancy on coming into the race. But as we said all the time, the punters on the Garrison Savannah seem to know best, but we didn't hear much from Rapunzel's Dream in that race.
Absolutely no run from Rapunzel's Dream whatsoever. But number 10, Lester Edwards, choosing the right path at the back, so he could have chosen which way that he would come with his run. Went through horses, taking a bit of cover as they came, in the final furlong and a half of the event. And then by the time he swooped down on the leader at the top of the lane, it was just about who was faster, who had that change of gear down the stretch. And when he asked Caballito on the outside, Caballito really kicked in. The
only
horse
taking 113 pounds as well, so
there
you would understand.
Benefiting from the light impost. Number 8 finished second in the event, Undisputed, in the hands of Beckles, as we get another head-on shot here of the finish of race 6. It's history. Caballito, unofficially, the winner of race 6. Leaving us clear to talk about race 7. We're going to give you the official placings as soon as they're posted, but we saw no infringements in the running of the event, Salt, and so we expect that the first 4 past the line, as we told you, will be the first 4 according to the judge's report when the official report comes.
Watching the trip from Lester Edwards on Caballito, we saw he came up from the back of the field, so he hardly would have impeded anyone. So I think the winner for sure will stay, and I didn't see any infractions to speak of.
Right, all right, so the race played right into his hands, no pace, and then it became a case of who was the best sprinter over the last quarter, and Caballito, as we see this one in the winner's circle, taking the photographs with the connections, the winner of race 6 on MidSummer Creole Classic Day here at the Garrison Savannah. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have a clear run. We're building rhythm and momentum now in the broadcast. We're going to have a clear run at the MidSummer Creole Classic, and we'll tell you all of the history around the event, and then look at the runners and riders in this year's renewal of this great race. Back to the MidSummer Creole Classic coverage here on SportsMax, your home of champions. We're going now to an interview with a rather special individual. You would have heard a lot of him in the weekly editions of At the Track as Lance Whitaker rounds up the best of Caribbean racing. His name is Lyndon Yard. He works here at the Garrison Savannah, and he's taking us through a journey of his attachment to horse racing.
Yes, that'll be me. Will be the post-race favorite, justifiably so as well. 2 career wins from 5 starts under trainer Naz Issa, who's won 3 derbies. Leave It to Me, Chuckney, and Zook Triple Crown win in 2006. So should Leave It to Me win tomorrow, and as I'm expecting her to win, she will continue on that trail that Naz Issa has traveled before. Not a lot of trainers have won the Triple Crown, or even win Classic, won to win Classic. So Naz Issa for him is not a pressure situation. He knows the job. He's exceptional with fillies. All his horses that Caulfield that won the derbies were fillies. So in Leave It to Me, she turned the tables on the favorite Indelible, who unfortunately went 3 for 3 at the trip, having not lost. But then at the end of that race, when she finished 3rd, she came up with an injury and she's out of this leg. I don't think either that there are horses in the race that should challenge her or make it that difficult. I think she's just improving, and they will also need to improve in order to beat her. She has Ricky Walker, who knows the Garrison inside out, light rider, exceptionally talented. I will say this over and over, it depends on which mood Ricky Walker gets up in. But given big races, he will deliver. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to lock up with him at the bottom of the straight. And because the track is so tight, if you can get a position early within the first 4, I'll say 75% of the winners comes from within the first 4. You're close to the pace, you take minimums to do for it. For example, I like to go to the great Frankie Dettori. He usually gives his horses minimum work in the home stretch to do. And that's by getting the position from the gate. Now, it won't always go your way as you plan, because the other 11 in the same race also have a plan. So maybe 4 others want to lead with you. It depends on how fast your horse is. But you have to get the best possible position, and the key is to know each horse and know each jockey's riding side. So there's some jockeys that simply cannot judge pace. You put them on the front end, the horse will just run on the front end because it's at the front. The jockey doesn't know how fast he's going. He doesn't know how much horse he has left under him. Sometimes maybe, if he doesn't do his homework properly, he doesn't even know who should be challenging him and at what point does he need to move. So if you get a guy like that out front, and you get, say, a Ricky Walker or Anderson Trotman, an 8-time champion jockey, they will just sit and wait because they know, look, he doesn't know how fast he's going, so let him just take me as far as he can take me, and then I'll take it from there. So for me, a top 4 position, I'm taking Let It Be Me as a banker to get the job done. I have a sweet tooth for a horse by the name of Big Chiefer. I thought he ran exceptionally well in only his 2nd start. He was thrown in at the deep end in the Barbados Guineas, the 7th run in the Barbados Guineas. And I think he can only improve. He's not exposed. It's only his third start. He is from a classic winning line. His granddam, poet license. His mom, poet license through Gandalf. She also won the Derby. So that line speaks classic line. That's a classic line. And I think not exposed. Delan Lopez in the urns. He's won a Barbados Derby before. He won in 2021 with the War Eagle. A chance really picked up. So he has the experience of winning the race. So I'm taking Big Chiefer as my improving horse. So I'm going for 1-2 for Naz, basically. On my third line is a toss-up. I'm going to throw in Matilda, providing that she's close to the pace. If she's not close to the pace, then she might not hit the board. But she was given too much to do in her last race, and the race before that simply had no chance in terms of what happened during the race. So if she's close to the pace, I don't see her winning, but she can hit the board. And then my fourth horse is likely to come down between Drogon, who I expect to run on. So I'm looking for horses that can see out the race. Two good steers would be Caribbean Kitten and Priscilla, but that lack of winning, a winner improves for me. A horse running third, fourth, don't run on, don't improve. You just run on, we're accustomed to running. And you're running with lesser horses and not winning. So it's always going to be difficult when you come against bigger. No, it hasn't been done before, or it can't be done, but it's even more difficult. So if I'm going to give you 4, let it be me, Big Chiefer, Matilda, Drogon.
Lyndon Yard there with his expert view on the likely outcome of the MidSummer Creole Classic. He says, let it be me, is hard to oppose based on the form coming into this event, and especially with the absence of Major Dan, who finished second to Let It Be Me in the Guineas weeks ago. Let It Be Me's task on paper looks to be that much simpler. But racing isn't run on paper. It's not decided on paper. It's on the track, and you have to get you have to have a racing look. You have to put every foot right to win a race such as this. Let's see if the gods are with Let It Be Me this afternoon, this evening, this glorious evening here at the Garrison. So, Salt, we're being joined by a gentleman, Muhammad, a gloriously named individual to the broadcast. And Muhammad, it's good. It's good to be in your country, in your company. And so, as a racing liaison, your expert eye on the MidSummer Creole Classic, what's likely to happen when the starter sends them on their business?
I expect at the end, let me say in the beginning, I expect the speedsters to be out front, the likes of Big Chiefer. As Lyndon said in his interview, he can go right through. That bloodline has done it more than once. And in the end, I expect Matilda to be tumbling down. She just had our ballot in her last 4 starts. Just racing luck was against her. So between Matilda and I like Big Chiefer, Let It Be Me, that bloodline again is exceptionally well. It did well in other races. It almost stole the 2020 Derby with Set Sail, which is conflict of interest. So that bloodline also has a good hand. With this going that has turned out today, Priscilla and Drogon must be considered. And the way Tishon Hazelwell have been riding today, 4 winners already, Drogon, you cannot leave out Drogon.
One of the things I've noticed, though, Salt, is that if I cast my memory back to other race days in this part of the world and elsewhere, on a big race card, when a jockey gets hot early, before the big race, it's usually a sign to avoid that jockey because that jockey has used up all its racing luck.
That's been my thinking all along, as well as the fact that Drogon isn't really heavily favored. I'm not really expecting much of Tishon and Drogon in this race.
Hear you on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
I would say things to differ. I would think he will put the icing on the cake.
You put the icing on the cake?
Yeah.
Yes.
6 wins in a day, 5 wins in a day, though?
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. No.
But it's not common. It's a reason it's not common because it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what the race misses by virtue of Major Dan not being here, though, Muhammad.
Again, he was a good pacemaker. Anchor stay. Although some people say he can't go further than the mile, but I think 9 would be ideal for him. It's unfortunate. But
what about Indelible?
Indelible? Unfortunately, she went wrong.
Yeah.
She went wrong.
So the pace angle to the race. You said that Big Chiefer should be prominent early.
Yes.
Matilda, where do you expect Matilda's winning run to start from? At what point on the course?
Just about 2 furlongs out. 2 furlongs. She'll be lying about 3rd, 4th, I feel.
Yeah, but people seem to think that Let It Be Me will have trouble getting home. I thought that the horse was rather cozy at the finish of the Guineas, with a little bit in hand.
Yeah.
So I'm not so sure that the distance will be an obstacle today.
That's why I said earlier, 2020 Derby, that bloodline almost stole the whole Derby. So nothing impossible. Coming especially from a trainer like Naz, who has in the past has produced horses for classics like these. He has a very good record in it.
Yeah. So on a day like today, for Caribbean fans tuning into the coverage of the MidSummer Creole Classic for the first time, give them a sense of how important this race is beyond it being the second jewel in the Triple Crown.
Yeah, it's not just his second jewel in crown, it is the prestige that goes with it. Then if Naz goes on to win for Let It Be Me, who knows, another Triple Crown. We have 2 Triple Crowns already, back-to-back, 2021, 2022. This could be a hat-trick year.
Yeah.
You never know, which is something very unusual. And she's capable. Do not write off Let It Be Me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The issue I have, though, is there are a couple of horses who've done well in this race, who've won this race in the past, and who have not gone on. We were talking about People's Champ earlier.
Yeah.
Oberoi was set to run here, run on this card, but he got scratched earlier.
Yeah.
Is it a case of injuries or other things getting in the way of those horses' progress?
In People's Champ, he was injured. He had a chip injury. And after that, he bounced back in the Tanglewood and won it this year, which is the second biggest race of the year after the Gold Cup. So he's good.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you don't run for almost 3 months, sometimes you need that race.
Mohammed, if I was to offer an outsider to my viewers of the horses still standing in this MidSummer Creole Classic, one that we haven't mentioned, who is the hot outsider? And I'm not guiding you to hot stepper number 3. Who's the hot outsider to consider in this event?
Order of St. George.
And why?
Order of St. George has a capability of upsetting them. Last race he ran second. He can be just off the pace, or just thereabouts, and kick on still.
All right. Well, Mohammed, we hope that your insight will assist those who are at home.
And may I add, he has the jockey that is informed, Aaron Daniel.
Yes. That's the guy. That's the magic man.
That's what I was just about to ask
so
him what he
that's
thought
another
of the
reason.
jockey.
Yeah. Well, guess what? The great jockeys win big races when they're on good horses. I hope he's on a good one today.
Yes, he is.
Thank you very much for your time, Mohammed. All the best to you.
You're welcome.
That's the racing liaison officer here at the Garrison Savannah, Mohammed, talking to us. Well, let's get into the history of this race, Patrick Salt Bellamy. And if you don't mind, I'd like to tell the viewers a few things. That between 1976, well, at least the first 9 editions of the MidSummer Classic, the race was run over 7.5 furlongs. That's 9 times over 7.5 furlongs. Then they moved it to a mile, and it was run over a mile on 5 occasions. Then they ran it over 7.8 furlongs. That's 1,570 meters on 12 occasions. And in fact, since the year 2002, 21 times it's been run over 9 furlongs. So the track record is different because, of course, there have been varying distances. The track record for this 9 furlong strip is 1 minute 50 and 2, set by Sweet Dreams it was. Sweet Dreams, Return to Sender actually. Return to Sender with the 150 and 2 in the record, the track record for this 9 furlongs trip. There is something I want to tell you about form lines, though, Assault, because there are 2 mares in the history of this race. Berry Brow in 1976 and, well, Berry Brow in 1976, yes, Berry Brow in 1976, and Berry Brow again in 1981. The first mare to produce 2 winners of this race. But there's more to that, because there's a horse here called, not Let It Be Me. Let It Be Me is in the race this afternoon.
Leave It to Me.
Leave It to Me, yes. There's a horse, Leave It to Me. Now, Leave It to Me's Dam, Signorina, has produced 2 winners of this event. Signorina produced in 2005 Don Anglesoni, Signorina's first.
Yeah, Don Anglesoni.
Anglesoni in 2005. Then Signorina again in 2010 produced Leave It to Me. Yeah? And Leave It to Me in this contest is the 2010 champion of the event. There is a horse here, another horse here, Northern Star. I'm just giving you the background to the event. Northern Star, who sires number 7 Northern Lady. Northern Star, a sire who won this race in 2016, is the sire of number 7 Northern Lady. So he won it in 2016. His daughter is now coming to attempt to win it in 2023. And then number 12, Roccomador, a stallion. He produced the 2017 winner of this race, Oberoi. And he sires number 12 Amaretta. So just a little bit of the history and the links in this race between some of the horses who've won it, horses whose bloodlines have been successful, and just to give you some perspective into the event. In terms of trainers, we should tell our viewers early that Victor Cheeseman owns this race. He's won it 6 times. Hawaiian Tropic in 2007, Nikita in 2013, Northern Star in 2016, Brave Star in 2018, 17 Millionaires in 2019, and War Eagle in 2020. In fact, he won it 3 times straight, Victor Cheeseman did, 18, 19, and 20. Brave Star, 17 Millionaires, and War Eagle. He is by far and away the most successful active trainer in this event. Anderson Tom Trotman has ridden the winner of this race 3 times. Kendall Moon in 2011, Noble Intent in 2014, and 17 Millionaires in 2019. The jockey with the most wins in this event. Antonio Bishop, the rider of number 1, he won it with Hurricane, of course, in 2022. Yep. And trainer Eddie Walcott Jr., he won it with Northern Star 2016, Golden Moon 2008, and of course Hurricane in 2022. So again, some perspective into the men with pedigree in this MidSummer Creole Classic.
Yeah, my brother is a bigger horse racing fan than I am. And he did tell me to look out for any horse that is coming from the Gay Smith barn, trained by Eddowes Walcott, and that's number 1 today, Mance. So we haven't heard any talk about Mance today, but that's my rank outside there.
All right, let's start from number 1 then.
Yes,
Manx is number 1, 123 pounds. Antonio Bishop rides for Eddie Walcott Jr., number 1, Manx. Number 2 is Caribbean Kitten. The jockey's Perch, the man who rode Donico Did It to victory in the 2015 edition of the MidSummer Creole Classic. Trainer Clark, who saddled Galileo to victory in 1999. So both jockey and trainer of number 2 have won the MidSummer Creole Classic before. Number 3 is Hot Stepper. Jay Beckles rides for Andrew Nunes. Andrew Nunes, of course, the trainer of Kendall Moon, who won this race in 2011, and then People's Champ in 2021. Number 3, Hot Stepper. 4 is Drogon, to Sean Hazelwood, champion jockey. The man who has won 4 races already on the card. Robert Pierce is the trainer. Pierce, of course, trained Donico Did It to success in 2015 and Oberoi in 2017. The jockey hasn't won it yet, but the trainer has won it twice. Number 5 is Let It Be Me. Ricky Walcott is the jockey. He won it in 2003 with Sweet Dreams and again with Brave Star in 2018. Naz is the trainer who won it with Zook in 2006 and Leave It To Me in 2010. Now there's an obvious rake there, Assault. Let It Be Me is being trained by the man who won it with Leave It To Me in 2010. Do the Me's have it? Do the Me's have it?
Well, we've already had a horse win this race back in the day called Are You Talking To Me as
well.
There
you go.
And so maybe the Me's may have it.
The Me's may have it. Number 6 is Matilda. Rashid Hughes rides for Victor Cheeseman. We've told you about Victor Cheeseman's 6 wins. Hughes, the jockey, won it with Oberoi in 2017 and People's Champ in 2021. Then number 7, Northern Lady. Knights is the jockey. K. Joseph has never won, so neither jockey nor trainer of number 7 have won this MidSummer Classic. Number 8 is Order of St. George. Young Daniel rides for P. Webster, the trainer, has never won this big race. Number 9 is Big Chiefa.
Big Chiefa.
Delano Lopez for Naz Issa. Delano Lopez, the son of Simon Husbands.
Yeah. And nephew of
Patrick Husbands.
And Pochi Lopez as well.
There you go. Number 10, Major Dan scratched that one. 11, Priscilla. Young Daniel rides for Robert Pierce. Number 12 is Amaretta. Tom Trotman for Trainer Dean. And those are the runners in this event. There were 12 horses declared, and at this point, 11 of them are parading in front of us and ready to take their place on the track. Looking at the post parade, I'm going to have to turn to look at them and tell you which ones I like based on presentation, Salt.
Yes, so you can let me know. I know we're going to check for the bandages first.
Yeah, that's the first thing to do. And yes, those at home, when you're checking the condition of a horse on race day, you always have to look to the feet first to look at those wearing those bandages. Back bandages are a no-no, meaning bandages on the back legs suggest that there's something wrong with the pins, some instability there. And usually it's a pain wrap that those bandages are designed for. It's a pain wrap. And I don't want any part of the horses with the bandages on the back legs. Bandages on the forelegs means that the trainer, the connections are just trying to ensure that it doesn't get bruised in the gallop when the back legs come forward. And so those are just precautionary to prevent any nicks, any cuts from hampering the horse during the race. So those are fine. I'm looking at the field. I like the way that number 5 looks. I also like the look of
Number 5 being Let It Be Me.
Yes, sir. Number 9 has also caught my eye, although
That's
sweating up a bit. That's Big Chifa. Yes, no bandages at all, but sweating up, and it's not that hot outside. And I've been noting the horses so far on the card earlier, Salt. Those who have been sweating up a lot, they haven't run their race because it just suggests that they're not comfortable when a horse is sweating. This is a tropical climb. These are tropical climbs, rather, and you'd expect that, yes, it's hot on the outside, but a horse shouldn't be sweating up like that if the horse is comfortable and contented and focused on the task at hand.
Especially when we are doing night racing here at the Garrison.
Absolutely vital.
Even
point.
Cooler.
Yes, sir. Number 2 is a Caribbean Kitten. Just bouncing around. No bandages on the front leg, bandages on the back leg. Wearing the headgear and the tongue tie. And being taken down to the start by the groom. Number 9. Well, number 6 in front of me, Matilda. Oh, number 8, beg your pardon. Number 8, Matilda. Looks good. Order of St. George, beg your pardon. Number 8, Order of St. George. Looks good. Has on bandages on all 4 legs, but looks rather cool, chilled out, as if he's aware of the occasion and he's switched off. That's a good thing for the jockey to get the horse to switch off and to fire him up down at the starting gates to go in when it's business time. Number 8, Order of St. George. Looks as if he's ready for a good effort. Number 1, that's Manx. Just walking out on the track.
Yeah, and the shocking pink of the Gatesmith barn, carrying the white blinkers. You will see him coming to your shot. Right now on your screen, though, you can see the favorite among a lot of people. That would be Let It Be Me.
Yep, I'm looking at number 1 now, and this horse looks absolutely beautiful, number 1, Manx. Really, really well presented. If there was a well-presented award in this race, I'd give it to number 1. And just floating away from the handler and just trotting down.
It's something about the tack, the shocking pink and the blue, the blinders, everything about the horse. And then the horse actually looks like an athlete ready to take on the next 9 furlongs.
Yep, on presentation, I would make number 1, Manx, my winner, but that's not what it's about, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, number 7 is Northern Lady, a very light-framed filly. Not sure if she has more to grow into this frame, very light of frame, and may not handle the trip this afternoon. The horses with this light frame usually are better when sprinting. Let's see if Northern Lady can buck that trend. Her father, Northern Star, was a beast of a horse. Really liked that runner, a top-class animal. And let's see if he has passed any of those strong genes through to his progeny. Number 6 in front of me just now was Matilda.
We saw her acting up a bit just now. You can see her on the screen right now as well.
Yeah, she's going down nicely as well. And now, well, just playing around. That's nothing to worry about, just playing around under the lights. Jockey
almost like a puppy, isn't she?
Yes, horses have that tendency sometimes to do that. All right, so that's where the starting gates are posted. That's the 1,800-meter point, the 9 furlong point. So let's talk about the pace angle to this race now, Saul, because we heard that Big Chifa likes to run in the pace. Major Dan's absence will mean that the obvious front runner at declaration point is not in the race this afternoon, because Major Dan would have carried the pace, no doubt. With him gone, who goes after Big Chifa in the rush to set the space?
I think that Let It Be Me is going to be right there with Big Chifa in the early fractions of the race. I don't think that Let It Be Me is going to let them get too far away from her this evening. The only question mark for Let It Be Me for me would be the distance.
And you need to talk to me about that, because I watched the Guineas, as I was saying to you off camera. I watched the Guineas maybe over a dozen times. Let It Be Me got a beautiful ride, was in, I think, post position number 2, and got squeezed and was over racing in the first part of the race. For the first furlong and a half, coming down the stretch, head held high and reaching in the gallop like that. And Ricky Walcott had to be really restraining her, so over raced and very lit up in the first furlong and a half, but then settled and had the run of the race. Beautiful positioning right behind the leader, so he always had a target in hand. When he asked her to really run Let It Be Me up the stretch, she came forward readily. And at the end, I thought she had something left. So you can imagine my surprise when I've heard all of the experts say that Let It Be Me may be suspect over the trip. I didn't see a horse suspect at 9 furlongs in the Guineas performance, even though the Guineas was a shorter race than this. So tell me why.
I think it's a bit of the pedigree behind the horse, as well as former results with regards to the horse. People, let's go back to Let It Be Me in previous races. Let It Be Me running over 1,800 meters, ran out on April the 29th.
Second by a
second
nose.
by to Indelible.
Yeah, but fighting. So 4 furlongs out, second by a length and a half.
Yeah.
2 furlongs out, second by a head. Yeah. And at the finish, second by a nose. So this horse was fighting all the way. So I'm saying, and
you think that she should be able to handle the trip?
I don't
She's proven before.
anything in the form lines that suggests that Let It Be Me is vulnerable at 9 furlongs. But again, you have to doff your cap. If I had one, I'd doff it to the punters because they would know. And the common whisper around the garrison is that Let It Be Me is slightly vulnerable over the journey of 1800
I think
meters. And I don't know why.
It's not that. It's because you have to say there has to be a caveat. And if there is a caveat for this horse, it is the distance. That's the better way to put it.
Well, here's the thing. At 119 pounds, very well treated, of course, because of the fact that she's a filly. So 6 fillies against, well, Major Dan is out, he's a colt. So 6 fillies against 5 colts in the race of the 11 horses left standing.
Yeah.
And Let It Be Me, 119 pounds. So she'll be getting weight from some of her rivals. Look, the way she beat everybody in the Guineas suggests to me that this is more than a useful horse. And I'm saying the manner of that victory, to be able to sit in the slipstream of the leader, to be able to come forward readily when asked by the jockey Ricky Walcott. It does suggest to me that a horse who only has 5 runs under her belt, we forget that this horse is on the improve. So
that's what Mohammed was saying as well.
I don't think that the Guineas run was the best of her potential. I think the Guineas run was a very good performance, of course, to win, but I think that she has more to give. And I stand to be corrected. I am making myself vulnerable to look like a right old tool.
No,
but I'm disagreeing, my friend, with those who believe that Let It Be Me is going to be vulnerable and it's going to be weak at the finish in this 1800 meters contest.
I say again, it's not that people think that she's going to be that vulnerable, as you can see via the odds right now, even odds, even money right now. Definite favorite going into the race. I think it's people saying if there was one way to beat Let It Be Me today, it would be over the distance.
Let's talk about number 6, Matilda. She has 7 runs under her belt, 2 wins in her lifetime. And you can see why people are excited about Matilda, because in her last race, that Guineas race where Let It Be Me beat Major Dan and company, she was 11th by 6.5 lengths, then 10th by 8.5 lengths, then 10th by 8.5 lengths, and at the finish she was 4th by 2.5 lengths. So she was making up ground in there. Let me ask you that. I'm happy you said closing, because in my reading of the race, Assault, I saw a horse who was staying on and running by horses who got burnt by being too close to the very fast pace that Major Dan set. So Major Dan set a cracking pace. Let It Be Me was in Major Dan's slipstream. Major Dan caused the horses around him to crack. Let It Be Me didn't crack. Those are the horses who cracked that Matilda ran past. And I'm not as excited as people are about Matilda closing, because I thought she just ran by tired horses in the end.
And I think what people are saying is that over the 9 furlong distance, there will be even more tired horses in the end.
But maybe not more tired horses than Let It Be Me. But we stand to be corrected.
But we stand to be corrected, and I would love to be corrected today by Matilda as well. But I think that she does stand a good chance.
Yes.
As we said, one of the fillies in the race, taking now 119 pounds, so she should be doing fairly well. And over the 1800 meters, I suspect that she will stay on just about as well as she did in the Guineas.
Again, this is a horse that's at a stage of rapid improvement. We don't know how good Matilda is, and that Guineas run could have brought her on a ton. She could make hacks of these in this event. What about number 4, Drogon, in the hands of Tishon Hazelwood for trainer Robert Pierce, 4th by 3 lengths in that June 17 contest over 1,570 meters. He was a winner when we were here on Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup. They beating, getting on by a short head in the hands of Jalon Samuel at 6-1, carried 126 pounds that day. It was over 1,570 meters though. Today, Drogon will carry 123 pounds as one of the colts represented. I'm trying to see a way in running that Drogon can land a blow. I'm not seeing it just yet, my friend.
As we continue to say, we have to rely on the jockey with this one today. We're going to have to rely on the jockey with this one. As I told you earlier, Max, this is my outside chance. Yes. Anything coming out of the Gay Smith barn, and he's also a colt. And being ridden by Antonio Bishop, who's a stable jockey. I'm really, somebody's telling me to keep an eye on this horse, man.
You know what? Well, let's tell the viewers about Manx's form, because Manx has only been at the races twice. First time was on April 29 at 5.5 furlongs, beaten into 4th place, 4 3/4 lengths. Big Chiefa was the winner on that occasion. Then followed that up on the debut run with a win on the June 3rd appearance this year, beating, winning by a neck at 1,570 meters Manx. So Manx has not run since June 3 and is at a stage of rapid improvement, I believe, is capable of anything.
Well, important to note that that victory on the 3rd of June was as a result, he was elevated because the actual winner of that race was disqualified. But it's important to note that he didn't take part in the Guineas. He went on an alternative route to the MidSummer Classic, which I think is crucial because it's not often that you will see a horse just jump into the MidSummer Classic without a good reason.
Yep. There's another horse that people have been talking about here at the Garrison. Number 8, Order of St. George, takes his name from a distinguished horse that ran for the Aidan O'Brien stables in the UK, a Globetrotter Order of St. George, won a few Group 1 races. If he's anything as good as his namesake, Order of St. George will eat these for breakfast. He is by shared adventure out of Devil's Candy by Kandahar, only has 3 runs under his belt, a winner on debut, then followed that up with a 10th place finish, then was second on June 17 in a 1,570 meters contest. Order of St. George was 123 pounds. I don't know. I watched the Guineas run by Order of St. George. I thought this was a one-paced horse, but people seem to think that it has the ability to beat these.
Yes, I was actually told to pick that horse as my sentimental favorite, having been born in the parish of St. George here in Barbados. So that's the only thing I have going for me with this horse, so other than a punter himself telling me, you got to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, again, on the strength of the Guineas run, Order of St. George was prominent early, but when the pace quickened, he was left flat-footed and he just one pace. Couldn't change his lead leg, couldn't really get with the swing of things when the pedal hit the floor, and Order of St. George was left floundering. We can tell you the odds as they begin to load quickly.
Yeah, they're starting to load.
Yeah, number 1 is at 6-1, that's Manx. Number 2, Caribbean Kitten, is at 12-1. 3, Hot Stepper, is at 28-1. They bet 7-1 on number 4, Drogon. Let It Be Me is at even money. That's number 5. That's the favorite. Number 6, Matilda, is at 3-1. 47-1, number 7, Northern Lady. 8-1, number 8, Order of St. George. Number 9 is Big Chiefa. That's at 9-1. Scratch number 10, Major Dan. Number 11, Priscilla, is at 22-1 and 43-1. Number 12, Amaretta, the second longest shot on the board, the longest shot being number 7, Northern Lady. All right, we're almost ready, Saul. The moment of truth is here. Your top 2 in this event.
My top 2 in this event, we're going to have to go to Let It Be Me and Big Chiefa.
Yep. There's everything to suggest
in that order.
Yeah, everything to suggest that the favorite will repeat. I'm going to go with Let It Be Me in this event. I wish I had a horse to carry to beat Let It Be Me, but on the basis of the form and what I saw with my own eyes in the Guineas, I think this horse is better than this crop of 3-year-olds right now. Let's go across to our commentator as he loads them up for the MidSummer Creole Classic for 2023.
Big Chiefa goes in. And the final one to go in will be Amaretta, as Priscilla goes up, goes in, 3 parts away in. And the last to be loaded will be Amaretta. They're on the starters' orders. And away they go for the MidSummer Creole Classic. And on the outside, Big Chiefa is early into stride and between horses. That one is Let It Be Me, followed by Manx. That's the top 3. Then Matilda is the next one through. As they come to the corner, and it is still Big Chiefa in front, just by about 3 parts of a length. From on the outside is Manx, as they swinging to the bend. In 3rd position, Let It Be Me, followed by on the outside is Amaretta. Tucked in along the rails, that one running very nice is Northern Lady, followed by Caribbean Kitten. Drogon is the next one through, followed by Priscilla. Then on the outside of these is Order of St. George, and at the back of affairs is Hot Stepper. That's the way they race as they pass the 5.5 along pole. And they've done the opening quarter in 25 flat. And Big Chifa is in front, just by about a length and a half now to Northern Lady. Mance is in third position. Antonio Bishop just keeping them very, very, very into contention. On the outside is Let It Be Me. Along the rails, running very, very well is Matilda. As they go along now up the hill, and it is still Big Chifa playing Catch Me If You Can. Is in front now by about 3 lengths. In second position is Let It Be Me, followed now by Matilda. The others are struggling at this moment. Mance is now being settled late. Drogon is also in contention. That's the way they race. They've done the half in 49 and 1, 3 parts in 114 and 3. And it is still Big Chifa in front. Let It Be Me is being settled late. Also here comes Matilda now sweeping by horses with a furlong and a half to go. And it is Matilda who hits the lead. Inside the final furlong, and it is Matilda in front, Big Chifa. Here comes Priscilla with a run. On the outside is Hot Stepper. When it is all over, where the shouting, Matilda cantering home, easy as she pleases. Matilda wins it from Hot Stepper. In third position was Priscilla. Fourth was Order of St. George. And long, long, long way back is Amaretta. 157 and 2. There will not be a Triple Crown winner for 2023.
6-3-11-8, 6-3-11-8, Matilda. A chested filly by Kit Fisto, Coral Lady by Atul, bred by Audley Ellis. Groom is Kishon Greenwich. The owner is Miss Renee Greenwich. The trainer is Victor Cheeseman. Chalk up win number 7 for Victor Cheeseman in the MidSummer Creole Classic. The champion does it again. Rashid Hughes made this his 3rd win after winning with Oberoi in 2017. People's Champ in 2021. Matilda gives him win number 3 in the event. And this was too easy for a classic race, Patrick Salt Bellamy.
A lovely, lovely race. And I actually thought that Matilda was out of the run-ins when she got into a bit of difficulty with Mance around the 3 furlong pole. But she rallied and came right on. And she just put them to bed in the final furlong or so.
A very strange race. The first quarter was rather slow, 25 and change. The half mile was also slow. And when I saw the pace being carried by Big Chifa, Let It Be Me went for Big Chifa after they went up the hill. They hit the rising ground. Let It Be Me went for Big Chifa, coming down. And then I thought that, okay, the race was in the bag. But then I saw Ricky Walcott riding and she wasn't gaining. And then all of a sudden, Matilda appeared from nowhere into the shot. And it was a matter of how far she would win by from there.
As we watch the replay here right now live on SportsMax. Thank you very much for joining us here in Barbados as well. We can see Big Chifa leading them down in the home stretch in the first loop of the circuit. And at this point in time, I was thinking to myself about it's a steady pace and the race is running through the form. But by the time they got over the rising ground, it was a completely different race. A tale of 2 races, George.
Absolutely so. Matilda got a beautiful ride, though, because the jockey had her in the pocket. She had cover. Yeah. Number 5, Let It Be Me, had no cover. She was over-racing again, as she did in the Guineas, in the first furlong and a half of the event. But in the Guineas, she had some cover at that point of the race. Had no cover because she was widest of those prompting the pace. And down the back stretch here, Big Chifa on the inside, and you can see Ricky Walcott now goes for her now. So Big Chifa is going to be tackled by Let It Be Me shortly. But look at Matilda in the pack.
That's where I saw Matilda actually. That's after she's checked already there. After Mance came across on her, and then he just rallied again.
Yep.
Bring the horse from the back, man.
This is the point where Walcott says, go, Let It Be Me, but he hits the gas pedal, no response. Look at Matilda on the inside. Look at Matilda, goes by Let It Be Me, and then you knew that Big Chifa, of course, would not have the gas to fight her down the stretch. It was a matter of how far she would win by from here, as early as here.
By that point, Matilda was just watching horses coming back and making sure she doesn't run into the back of them. I saw her passing Let It Be Me, and then just shifting a bit to the left, where she taking her out to the left, and passing out Big Chifa and taking it all home in a canting romp, man.
All right, so number 6 rather, Matilda gets the job done in the MidSummer Creole Classic. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do the interviews with the winning connections.
I'm from a place, we upset every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. Go search a million places, travel a million miles.
Barbados is a beautiful island in the Caribbean that represents many things for many people. It is the perfect holiday getaway, a foodie paradise, the birthplace of rum, and the home of Rihanna. Welcome to Barbados.
Welcome back to SportsMax's coverage of the MidSummer Creole Classic live from the Garrison Savannah right here in Barbados. We just saw the running of the 2023 edition of the MidSummer Creole Classic with Matilda, ridden by Rashid Hughes, taking the victory, and a comfortable victory at that, carrying along 119 pounds and trained by Victor Cheeseman, BSS, his seventh victory in this edition of the race at the MidSummer Creole Classic. Second place went to Hot Stepper, a horse who was way off the pace in the early fractions. However, Gerald Beckles managed to bring him all the way up onto second place on the line. That's her, sorry about that. Third place went to Priscilla, ridden by R. Pierce and trained by R. Pierce and ridden by E. Daniel. And Priscilla took along 119 pounds as a filly as well. And fourth place went to the Order of St. George, ridden by Daniel and trained by Webster right here. As we look forward then onto August the 1st, when we're going to have the third edition of the Triple Crown here in Barbados, which will be the Derby. We're going to hand over now to George, who's with winning trainer Victor Cheeseman. Over to you, George.
Here with the winning trainer, Victor Cheeseman. Trainer, this is your 7th MidSummer Creole Classic win. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Tell me about the preparation of this horse coming out of the Guineas. We saw that she had some traffic problems in that race. Did that performance set your mind that you had a winner on your hands?
First thing, I'm a champion. And, I just see that in the race that she had some problems and things in the race. And, I just put that behind me and just give her the best preparation they could, and it came true.
In terms of your forecasting of the race, when you sat down to look at the runners in the race and the likely tactics you wanted your jockey to employ, what plan did you come up with, and was that the plan that played out this evening?
Well, the plan was very good. We planned to don't break as sharp as possible, because when she breaks as sharp as possible, it tends to come and knock her down. So we break a little slowly and take the time and go up on the outside and pick the ground from there.
We felt, based on the Guineas run, that this was an improving filly. Of course, these are 3-year-olds, so they're improving all the time. What did you see in the Guineas performance that convinced you that with racing luck, she would be better than her rivals this afternoon?
From the beginning, I always say that she's better than those horses, but just that the trouble that she's getting, and think that them horses just get a chance to beat her.
In terms of her temperament, what kind of filly is she at home? Is she straightforward? Is she quirky?
Well, she is 1 out of a million. She don't worry if Christmas comes Sunday. She just do what she have to do.
If she comes out of this race sound, her obvious next target is what?
The Derby. We go for the Derby.
And you're telling your rivals that you're the one to beat?
Yes, definitely. She could stay very good.
Thank you again, Victor, and congratulations. You seem to make it the MidSummer Creole Classic your very own.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Victor Cheeseman there, win number 7 in this classic. The winning jockey is walking into the shot with me now. And congratulations, sir.
Thanks, boss.
All right, take me from the gate.
She brought much better today for the previous starts that I have saw with her. She was bounced about a bit at the start. I was very cautious about that today. I tried to break her smartly, but not too sharp, and that worked. I was able to get a nice position from the break.
The fractions were slow, and you weren't far off those fractions. And when they went to the top of the hill, the leader was in front, but he wasn't traveling that well. Let It Be Me in second wasn't traveling well either, and then you just swooped down on them.
Well, at that point, I was just gauging on Let It Be Me, and I know, well, this is like the second start. They're all going 9 furlongs, so I figure, well, some of them never went 9, like Big Chiefer, so I figure, well, the actual distance probably might tell on him soon. So I try to position myself where if they stop, I wouldn't being traffic, so it worked out smooth.
By the time you challenged the leaders and took up the running with the straight in front of you, I knew that based on the stamina of your horse, you weren't fretting that anybody would run you down.
Once I got her going early, like Victor told me, to just get her going early, don't give her too much to do. So as soon as I approached over the hill like by the 4, I started to urge her with my legs rather than tap her or get her going too quick. So I tried to urge her and bounce her along. And from the time I felt that she picked up a rhythm is when I just pushed the button. And I was actually trying to go on the outside of horses, and she tried to, try to play shy, a little cautious a little bit. Like, I don't know, they don't want to split the horses to go around, so I figured let me switch her to the inside. She got brave, and then I found myself in a pocket where I had to force through, and she was brave enough, and with the momentum I had, from the time I got through, I know, well, I don't think anything should be coming. So it was an impressive run from her. I'm very, very happy for the connections and the trainer and the grooms, and the owners as well. So it's an all-around well effort.
You're still a young man. This is your 3rd MidSummer Creole Classic. How does it feel to be bossing this race?
Well, it's always a good feeling, to get those stats under your belt. But nonetheless, I'm just thankful all the time. I mean, I enjoy what I'm doing, love what I'm doing, and I guess they say the hard work that you put in, the results will come.
Finally, Victor says if she comes out sound, the Derby is obviously the next assignment. If she gets racing luck, if she runs well in the Derby, is there anything in the 3-year-old Cup you think that can beat her?
Well, based on her performance today, it was very impressive. I think she stayed out the race very well. She actually kicked on, so I mean, it'd be very tough to beat her. I don't want to say she can't lose because it's a horse race, but she will have a solid chance. The other horse who may challenge her is out at the moment, which is Indelible, and I'm not saying the others can't stay, but based on the performance today, I'm confident, and I'm just hoping she stays strong and we could be here again.
Congratulations, Jock. Well done.
Thank you very much, boss.
Good. SportsMax.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you very much, Victor Cheeseman and winning jockey Rashid Hughes. All the connections of Matilda celebrating their victory in the MidSummer Classic 2023, the featured race on today's card. But don't move. We've got one more race coming for you as Dominus and Zico look to rekindle their rivalry over 5.5 furlongs. So don't you move. We'll be right back right here at the Garrison Savannah in Barbados as we continue to see you at the races.
Come from a place, we accept every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. Don't search a million ways, travel a million miles to find a vibe.
Barbados is a beautiful island in the Caribbean that represents many things for many people. It is the perfect holiday getaway, a foodie paradise, the birthplace of rum, and the home of Rihanna. Welcome to Barbados.
MidSummer Creole Classic of 2023 is now history. And speaking of history, those are the history makers. The winning trainer not in the shot, but Rashid Hughes on the outside there, the jockey with win number 3 for him in this event. And then the owners of this 3-year-old Cheston filly collecting the trophy after a scintillating performance, Patrick Salt Bellamy. You'd struggle to find an easier winner of the MidSummer Creole Classic in the past. Matilda was pure class this afternoon.
It was pure class. It reminds me a bit of Are You Talking to Me? Victory. And I believe that was 2010, as we see Rash running off, because I believe he has a mount in the next race as well,
Yeah, he said to me that it's his intention to ride at Caymanas Park, and I said, you should come, you would do well because you're a top jockey. And he said that he just needs to work out the logistics. So the race 7 is history. Matilda, any disappointments for you beyond the obvious favorite not firing this afternoon?
And also a bit disappointed with the run of Big Chifa as well. I saw that he would stay on a bit well. Remember, we were talking a bit about Matilda and staying on.
Yes.
At the end, we saw that.
Yes.
We saw that displayed in the race. So I think that the race...
Yeah, she beat them for class. There's no doubt, Matilda. Beat them for stamina, rather. And there's no doubt that she has more than a bit of class about her already as well. So if you have a horse that is a classy individual that has stamina, then you're looking at a serious racehorse. And Matilda is a serious racehorse. But before we get into the 8th and final race on the card, why not replay the feature event, the MidSummer Creole Classic for 2023 from the start? Let's take that replay now.
On the starter's orders. And away they go for the MidSummer Creole Classic. And on the outside, Big Chifa is early into stride and between horses. That one is Let It Be Me, followed by Mance. That's the top 3. Then Matilda is the next one through. As they come to the corner, and it is still Big Chifa in front, just by about 3 parts of a length. From on the outside is Mance, as they swinging to the bend. In third position, Let It Be Me, followed by on the outside is Amoretta. Tucked in along the rails, that one running very nice is Northern Lady, followed by Caribbean Kitten. Drogon is the next one through, followed by Priscilla. Then on the outside of these is Order of St. George, and at the back of affairs is Hot Stepper. That's the way they race as they pass the 5.5 along pole. And they've done the opening quarter in 25 flat. And Big Chifa is in front, just by about a length and a half now to Northern Lady. Mance is in third position. Antonio Bishop just keeping them very, very, very into contention. On the outside is Let It Be Me. Along the rails, running very, very well is Matilda. As they go along now up the hill, and it is still Big Chifa playing Catch Me If You Can. Is in front now by about 3 lengths. In second position is Let It Be Me, followed now by Matilda. The others are struggling at this moment. Mance is now being settled late. Drogon is also in contention. That's the way they race. They've done the half in 49 and 1, 3 parts in 114 and 3. And it is still Big Chifa in front. Let It Be Me is being settled late. Also here comes Matilda now sweeping by horses with a furlong and a half to go. And it is Matilda who hits the lead. Inside the final furlong, and it is Matilda in front, Big Chifa. Here comes Priscilla with a run. On the outside is Hot Stepper, but it is all over. Where the shouting, Matilda cantering home, easy as she pleases. Matilda wins it from Hot Stepper. In third position was Priscilla. Fourth was Order of St. George, and long way back is Amoretta. 157 and 2.
The first 3 past the post assault. The first 3 past the post in the MidSummer Creole Classic were all fillies.
Yeah.
That tells you something in this event. The Colts not distinguishing themselves at all in this event. The girls, it was all girl power in the MidSummer Creole Classic.
Yeah, in Barbados, we have a female prime minister, female president. So
there you go. There you go.
There
you go. Respect to the females all the time.
What it does, we were speaking about the horses staying on in the end. It bodes well for them as they look to take on 10 furlongs in the Derby.
Yes, and for sure, Matilda stays forever and a day. Priscilla looks as if she stays as well, along with Hot Stepper, who finished second. Let's talk about the 8th and final event on the card, though. There's number 3. That's
number 3 is our horse, man.
Dominus.
We spoke a lot about him.
Yeah, let's start with the full field.
Yes,
Bajan Azteca number 1 has Daniel in the saddle for Victor Cheeseman. Number 2 is Brilliant News, Rashid Hughes for Andrew Nunes. Dominus is also trained by Andrew Nunes. Ray Williams is listed as the jockey. Number 4 is Sir Jimmy. S. Bellamy rides for trainer D. Number 5 is Zico, the hot horse on the island right now. Ricky Walcott rides for Jean-Marc Cozier, and Radial Flyer with Lester Edwards for trainer Lavelle is on the outside at number 6. Let's start with the obvious horse, Dominus. The highest rated horse in Barbados at this time is Dominus with a rating of 125. That's not him. That's number 5, Zico, the horse who conquered him the last time we saw Dominus at the races, which was on Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup Day. So as we said, Dominus rated at 125. Zico is rated at 115. Radial Flyer is rated at 107. The only horse in this race who's not rated at 100 or above is number 1, Bajan Azteca. Now, Dominus, by virtue of being the highest rated horse in Barbados, will carry 133 pounds. He's giving away, listen to this, he's giving away 23 pounds to Bajan Azteca. He's giving away 10 pounds to Brilliant News. He's giving away 23 pounds to Sir Jimmy. He's giving away 18 pounds to Zico. He's giving away 18 pounds to Radial Flyer. Now, the last time we saw Dominus, as we said, on Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup Day, at 5.5 furlongs, which is today's distance, he gave Zico 25 pounds and was beaten 2.25 lengths. This evening, he gives him 18 pounds. And everything suggests that Zico will run Dominus down and beat him again. Or is that so, Mr. Salt?
I agree thoroughly with you there. Don't forget these horses would have come out on the 29th of April as well, and Zico would have beaten Dominus into 3rd place on that date as well. And the word on the garrison is no matter when these two horses meet up, the one that's carrying the lighter weight is going to win. We also have to take to note that we saw Ray Williams suffer a bit of an injury, a mishap in the starting gates in an earlier race this evening. He didn't even compete in that race. This is the first time we're seeing him back on the track since then. So we've got to see if that's going to play a factor into his riding ability in this last race.
Yep. So let's start again from number 1, Bajan Azteca. This horse, 9 lifetime starts, only 2 wins. Well, not only 2 wins, 2 wins in 9 starts. That's good for this 3-year-old filly by Sharp Azteca out of Starship. Awesome. The morning line betting 4-1. We're going to give you the updated odds in short order. But I started Bajan Azteca to ask Salt if he thinks she can land a blow in a race of this nature.
Just because I really like the jockey. I keep coming back to the jockey, and he is the informed jockey on island right now. But outside of that, no. I don't know. I'm surprised to see Victor send her in this race, but it might be a reason behind it.
Brilliant News number 2 will carry 123 pounds. Now, I don't know why Brilliant News is giving weight to Zico. Well, Zico is 3 years old, so of course he gets the benefit of being 3 years old, so the older horses will carry a little bit more weight. So, okay, that explains it then. So, Brilliant News, number 2, will carry 123 pounds, has a rating of 115. I'm looking, and Brilliant News, along with Zico, are the second joint highest rated horses in this event. Does that mean that Brilliant News has the ability to seriously get into the mix in this race?
I believe he does. And under Rashid Hughes as well. And he just showed us how expertly he can handle this turf today, because, you know, every day is a bit different. And today we've been seeing a bit of a heavy turf. I believe that that will play into Brilliant News' favor.
On the point of heavy turf, I haven't seen one leader win all day. So the horse who sets the pace usually gets leg weary by the top of the straight. So it's good to stalk and run on as we look at number 3, Dominus. That's where we go now. Dominus, he is, what, he's 6 years old now, 16 lifetime starts. So all has not been right with him at 6 years old. You should be running much more than 16 races. He's won 11 of those 16 races, though. But based on his quality, he's paid a price for his quality because he's always carrying lumps of weight. This afternoon, 133 pounds. You said to me the last time I saw Dominus, which was on March 4, that this was the best horse in the land. Why do I get the sense, Saul, that your mind has changed on Dominus?
Well, the last 2 outings have shown me that. We saw him on Gold Cup Day being beaten by his jocular. I remember when Jocular passed, the Garrison Savannah was in an uproar. And then the last race there, the 29th of April, I ran out to Zico and Zaid, 2 stablemates of sorts, who tackled him on the top of the stretch and put him to bed. So ever since then, the amount of weight that the horse has had to carry has shown that people not really fancying him.
Well, here's the thing, though. For those who are in the know will know this, but those who are not will hopefully learn something new. Based on what the handicapper has done with these races, or with a race like this, or based on what the handicapper does with all races, the principle by handicapping in terms of weight allotment is that the race should finish in a dead heat.
Right.
So based on the handicapper's estimation of the horse's ability and past performances, that's what determines the weight that each horse is allotted with. Now, by virtue of winning 11 races from 16 starts, Dominus, who's the highest rated horse in the land, is given 133 pounds to carry. A horse like Zico, who has beaten him, is given 115 pounds because Zico's star is on the rise. Dominus' star is established. I bet you if Zico beats Dominus today, the next time you see them, there will be far less than 18 pounds between them.
I do not know if Dominus is 18 pounds better than Zico.
And that's the point.
No,
and that's why sometimes the connections get angry at the handicap because they're saying, well, why should Dominus be giving Zico 18 pounds after the manner of their last the last time these horses met when Zico won? The weight differential should be less so that Dominus now has a chance of beating Zico. I don't think at these weights that Dominus can do it.
Over the same distance as well. It's very hard to tell the horse, come on, 18 pounds difference, you still got to be able to beat this horse. No, I don't see it happening today.
Number 4 is Sir Jimmy. We're going to tell you more about the rest of the field after this break. Tell you that this 8th and final race on MidSummer Creole Classic Day is a very competitively bet event. And before we go further with our preview, let's just give you the odds as they are right now. Number 1, Bajan Azteca is at 7-2. 2 Brilliant News is at 9-2. Number 3 is at 2-1, Dominus. Number 4 is at 9-1, that's Sir Jimmy. 5 is at 4-5, that's your favorite Zico. And the rank outsider is Radial Flyer, the only one who, relatively speaking, is friendless in the betting market. Let's talk about Sir Jimmy number 4. He is an American-bred 6-year-old chestnut gelding by Poseidon's Warrior, Wimpy Skippy by Boundary, ridden by Bellamy for a trainer Dean. Sir Jimmy, 28 lifetime starts, only 4 wins, and what the form would suggest that Sir Jimmy has a lot to find, but the betting on the board 8-1 suggests that there is a lot of support at the Garrison this evening for Sir Jimmy. I wonder why.
I don't know if there's a lot of support. There are only 6 horses in the race, and he's the 5th favored.
Yes.
So he's
well, 8-1, relatively speaking, to 18-1. I'm suggesting that he's part of some exotics as well. So there is support for Sir Jimmy in the point we're making.
True,
Yep. Number 5, Zico, is well-bred, to say the least. He's by Looking at Lucky. Valid Enchantment by Tisno. Tisno, you remember, famously won the Breeders' Cup Classic in 2001, beating out, it was Frankie de Tory, and de Tory's horse came second in that race. It may have been Saki, beating Saki in that famous classic renewal of the Breeders' Cup Classic in 9/11 year 2001, which is why I remember. He's run 9 times. Interestingly, in 2022, in his debut season, ran 3 times, winless in those 3 races. 2023, this has been Zico's rise to the throne of the best sprinter in Barbados. 6 races he's run. He's won 4 times, second once, for earnings of $47,500 so far in 2023. And he comes here as the big favorite, justified.
Owned by John Mark Cozier and ridden by Ricky Walker. I can't fault those connections at all. Definitely deserved the favorite.
And the racing public say Radial Flyer is here only to make up numbers. I think we have a line. Let's go across to the commentator.
And away they go. And controversially, Dominus has been checked at the start, and he is dead last as they jump the sand and head down the back stretch. But Ricky Walcott summons the speed of Zico, and he goes out to generate the pace. So it's now the favorite Zico who flaunts his speed up the back stretch. Past the half-mile marker on the outside goes Sir Jimmy. Dominus is trying to recover, and he now rushes into 3rd. On the inside is the filly Bajan Azteca. Then there's Radial Flyer, who's 5th, and he is 4 lengths off of the lead past the 3/8 marker, and the trailer is brilliant news as they sprint down the hill, and Sir Jimmy has now disposed of Zico. It is Sir Jimmy on top, and he's upset-minded as they come under the mile marker. Here's Dominus, who's rushed into second. Now Zico's back to third, and he's sputtering. Bajan Azteca angles wide for the stretch drive inside the stretch, and it's Sir Jimmy the one to catch. Dominus may be feeling the strain of the 131, and he can't reel in Sir Jimmy, who's home and holds. It's Sir Jimmy who's taking it to the troublemaker handicap field, and he wins by 2 from Zico, who nailed Dominus on the wire for the exact money. Then came Bajan Azteca. Brilliant news, and the last one home was Radio Flyer in 107 flat.
4-5-3-1. 4-5-3-1. Sir Jimmy in the betting. We were haggling over whether or not he had a lot of support. Well, I tell you what, the supporters will tell you, yes, he had a lot of support because we knew he would win. That was a very good performance. Ran like a scared hare from the moment the starter said go. And Sir Jimmy, the best of a good lot.
I'm looking forward to seeing the start of this race because we saw that Dominus didn't have a great start, and I believe not having a good start and having to carry that amount of weight, 133 pounds, it really impacted him. He ran a good race, you know, but at the end he still got ran past by Zico in the home stretch as well.
Yep, beaten by Zico with an 18-pound weight differential. I'm certain that the connections of Dominus will tell you that the next time these two meet, that the placings will be different because the weight, the handicapping will be kinder to their horse. But forget about them. Let's talk about Sir Jimmy.
Let's talk about Sir
Number
Jimmy,
4,
man.
yeah, 110 pounds, getting 23 pounds from Dominus, getting 5 pounds from Zico. And let me tell you, he ran, as I said, like a scared hare. Here he is on the front end, dictating the pace, and very well handled by Jockey Bellamy.
When I saw Bellamy take him right up to the front, I was questioning the decision. I think to myself, it might be an inexperienced ride by the apprentice, but he knew what he was doing. He absolutely did. He did not cover in the face of the likes of Dominus and Zico. He rode the horse well, and with a furlong and a half out, both of us looked at each other and we noted this race is pretty much over. We were not seeing the two favorites at all in with a shout. And we see him coming down the stretch under right-handed encouragement and by young Bellamy. Excellent ride.
Yeah, that's why we tell you that races are never run on paper, you know. I'm certain that Sir Jimmy's connections weren't planning on taking the lead because they thought that Dominus Zico would have pressed the pace. But those two had mishaps at the gate, and the race basically fell into the lap of Sir Jimmy, and he took it gleefully.
I would like to have the chat with the jockey of Dominus, Ray Williams, to find out if the incident that occurred earlier in the race there at the starting gate impacted his riding anywhere, because he did look good. He sees a very tall jockey. You can see his knees really up to the horse's neck there, but he did not have it. I think the horse's legs were tired, though, carrying 133 pounds. Yeah,
very unfortunate for Dominus, but the connections of Sir Jimmy are very happy this evening. Teamwork Racing Company is the breeder. The groom is Shamar Griffith, owned by A&A Racing and Mr. RJ. And as we told you, trained by Dean and young Bellamy, the man in the saddle, doing an excellent job. Sir Jimmy logs his 5th victory from this, his 29th start. The 6-year-old chestnut gelding doing it from in front. So Sir Jimmy getting the job done. We're picking up the wrong horse.
That's
on
actually
the camera.
Dominus there.
Dominus who came 3rd. And okay, Ray Williams
That's
still
Ray
hopping.
Williams, yes, you can see he's limping.
The left leg, or the left foot, appears to be the problem. As we get our replay here, looking at them.
So we have Sir Jimmy coming up and taking the lead.
Yes.
Immediately. As I said earlier in the broadcast, I thought it was a brave decision by Bellamy, the jockey. But he knew what he was doing. He took control of the race and said to them, catch me if you can.
Yep. Zico didn't quicken as the jockey liked because he was getting some taps down the shoulder to pick them up from here. He really wasn't picking them up, and that was because the pace wasn't coming back. So Jimmy was still running strong, and at the end had poached a big enough advantage turning into the straight. The others couldn't run him down, though they tried in the straight. So Jimmy had flown the coop by the time, just before they straightened in the run to the judge and the jockey punching the air in exuberance. And why not? That was a fine win against the best sprinters in Barbados.
I just said Zico was getting
Jocular isn't here, so they're with respect to him.
He said he was getting some encouragement, speaking about Zico, and he didn't respond well to the encouragement. We saw him run past Dominus in the stretch. Do you think that was a bit of him quickening or Dominus fading in the end?
No, that was 133 pounds taking its toll.
Yeah.
When you have weight like that, you have to go. And he didn't get the best start. Coupled up nicely to go in chase of the leaders. But I'm certain that the jockey Ray Williams knew that the chance had passed Dominus, and he was trying to get the best finish that he could ride in the end. So 4-5-3-1 to the finish of the 8th and final here. Number 4, Sir Jimmy, getting home ahead of number 5, Zico, number 3, Dominus, and number 1, Bejan Azteca, running into 4th place. So 4-5-3-1 in the Troublemaker handicap. This is the last race on the card. Troublemaker, of course, the 1982 winner of the MidSummer Creole Classic. And number 4, Sir Jimmy, getting the job done. And a lot of the fans in the stands have already gone.
Yeah.
They got up on cue, because many of them would have had dead tickets in their pockets, Assault, because those tickets would have been on Dominus and on Zico.
Yeah, the owner of Sir Jimmy there, Adrian, he's a good friend of mine. I'm sure he's going to be heavy on my WhatsApp as Sir Jimmy improves to a lifetime 29 starts, 5 victories, 8 seconds, and 3 thirds.
Yep, there you go. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's take the full replay of the Troublemaker handicap, the night plan on this MidSummer Creole Classic 2023 race day in Barbados.
And away they go. And controversially, Dominus has been checked at the start, and he is dead last as they jump the sand and head down the back stretch. But Ricky Walcott summons the speed of Zico, and he goes out to generate the pace. So it's now the favorite Zico who flaunts his speed up the back stretch. Past the half-mile marker on the outside goes Sir Jimmy. Dominus is trying to recover, and he now rushes into 3rd. On the inside is the filly Bejan Azteca. Then there's Radio Flyer, who's 5th, and he is 4 lengths off of the lead past the 3/8 marker, and the trailer is Brilliant News as they sprint down the hill, and Sir Jimmy has now disposed of Zico. It is Sir Jimmy on top, and he's upset-minded as they come under the mile marker. Here's Dominus, who's rushed into 2nd. Now Zico's back to 3rd, and he's sputtering. Bejan Azteca angles wide for the stretch drive inside the stretch, and it's Sir Jimmy the one to catch. Dominus may be feeling the strain of the 131, and he can't reel in Sir Jimmy, who's home and holds. It's Sir Jimmy who's taking it to the Troublemaker handicap field, and he wins by 2 from Zico, who nailed Dominus on the wire for the exact money. Then came Bejan Azteca, Brilliant News, and the last one home was Radio Flyer in 107 flat.
Yeah, so Sir Jimmy doing it the easy way from in front. The fact that Dominus had a poor start and then had a stumble, had to be snatched up by the jockey Ray Williams, and to run as well as he did, I have no doubt that with the weights favorable, Dominus is still, for me, the best sprinter in Barbados.
Yeah, we're definitely missing Jocular this evening, but with the race favorable, Dominus, nothing to be ashamed of in that race just now.
Yeah, the question to ask is this: which of Jocular or Zico could give Dominus weight and beat him? I don't think either of those could. They have to get lumps of weight to beat him. But it is what it is. If you're the best horse, you have to carry lumps of weight and beat everybody. If you can't do it, then there are question marks, or question signs, or there is a question mark around your legitimacy to the crown of being the best sprinter. But that is just purely academic. It's all about Sir Jimmy, a deserved winner of the 8th and final, to cap a glorious day of racing. So we did 4 races together, races 5, 6, 7, and 8. Obviously, the highlight of the card for you would have been Matilda's performance.
We saw a brilliant performance, but right on time as we opened the broadcast, as well as Cabalito in our second race today. But of course, Matilda had the Garrison Savannah on its feet today. Because of her run. So, yes, that would be the stand-up performance for me today.
When we were here for Sunday in Barbados Gold Cup Day, it's a gamble. Landed the gamble at big odds. Matilda doing it at favorable odds today. She was really impressive. And if all goes well, if she comes out of the race well, Assault, it will be hard to oppose her in the Derby, given the additional real estate that the runners will have to take on.
10 furlongs in the Derby is going to be a very interesting race, and it's always an upset-riddled race as well. So we can't wait to see what's going to happen in the 1st of August.
All right, so congratulate Victor Cheeseman for winning 7 MidSummer Creole Classics, and congratulate Rashid Hughes for winning 3 as well. So 7 for the trainer, 3 for the jockey. It was a smash performance from their chestnut filly, Matilda. And as Victor says, if she comes out of this race right, he will be ready for the Derby. And Victor is a confident man, he says. His horse will be the one to beat, and we hope to be able to bring that for you live and in spectacular fashion here on SportsMax, your home of champions. So on behalf of our production team, I was tempted to name names, but I'm going to leave out some of the names. But everybody related and working on this broadcast, on behalf of myself and Patrick Salt Bellamy, want to wish you good evening, pleasant viewing, and remember, SportsMax, your home of champions, is the place for the best sport in the world, and especially the best racing, horse racing, in the Caribbean.